Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here, the 3 Topics Gamer, here to give you another episode of my weekly Q&A time with people's questions or answer a series of questions that have been sent to me over the past week. This episode is going to be relatively short because I only got like 3 questions, so that's why. But like always, if you do happen to enjoy this episode regardless, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep track of me on my future episodes. Before I start, I would just like to give you a warning that I am currently kind of getting over a sickness that I've been dealing with for like the last 2 days. Hopefully I'll be over it over the next 2 days and I'll be back to full health. So if you hear my voice kind of start to weaken a little bit, or if I cough a little bit, that's why. But it's no cause for alarm. I am getting much better. It's just something I've been dealing with the last couple of days. Starting with the first question coming from Night at Slayer 666, and you want to know, is there a game that everyone hates but I enjoy? Well, I don't know if everybody hates this game, but I know that I don't know. It's kind of even. It's kind of half and half from what I've heard. But I know that like a lot of people don't like Final Fantasy VIII. I really like it. I think it's a great sequel to Final Fantasy VII, and in my opinion, because of how I don't really have many great things to say about Final Fantasy IX. I think this is a great game that helped me lead into Final Fantasy X. So, yeah, I think this is the closest game. But in terms of like overall hatred, this would probably be the closest thing I can think of. Next question comes from the Batman Neil Gotham. And you want to know, in my honest thoughts, who do I think would win a tag match? Liu Kang and Kitana versus Ryu and Chun-Li. Oh, God. Oh, are you serious? Liu Kang and Kitana would destroy Ryu and Chun-Li. It wouldn't... Hell, Liu Kang and Kitana could take on Ryu and Chun-Li in a 1v2 if they wanted to. I mean, look, I don't necessarily agree with all of Death Battle's results, but one thing that has been consistent is that every time they put a Mortal Kombat character up against a Street Fighter character, the Mortal Kombat character always wins. That has been consistent because Mortal Kombat characters have higher quality opponents. I mean, when you're dealing with different species and elder gods, and I mean that's on a whole new level. And Liu Kang and Kitana can contend with that. I mean, both of these two were able to take out Shao Kahn. That means something. I mean, okay, Ryu and Chun-Li have faced Akuma. Maybe M. Bison a few times. I mean, that's nice, but that's not on the level of opponents that Liu Kang and Kitana can compete with. So yeah, that's not even a question. They would totally destroy Ryu and Chun-Li. That's not even a fight. That's a 100% 10 out of 10 just beating. Which is why Mortal Kombat's better than Street Fighter anyway. So. And the last question of the episode comes from Brady Burke, and you want to know, who out of all the SIGs do I think is the better tactician? Big Boss, Saldus, Liquid, and Salt. I really don't think this is a question that you can accurately answer, simply because we don't know everything about them. We know the most about, say, Solid and Big Boss, but we don't really know all that much about Saldus, and we don't really know that much about Liquid. We know that Liquid was at one point the leader of Foxhound, but we don't really know what that entails, and that we don't even have a detailed breakdown of missions that he took part in. And Saldus, what do we know about him? Well, we know that he trained child soldiers in his youth. He became president of the United States, and then he pretty much repeated the same incident as the Shadow Moses incident. That's about it. And then, Solid Snake, we know he's a good infiltrator, but heck, theoretically all of them could do that. And Big Boss was doing that in worse environments. I mean, you can't even say who's the better fighter. I mean, they're all comparably good fighters. I mean, Big Boss was part of the invention of CQC. I mean, Solid Snake, was trained by Big Boss. Liquid Snake was pretty much on par with Solid Snake as a fighter. And we've never actually seen Saldus in a fist fight. We've seen him in a sword fight, and that's about it. So I really don't think we can come up with a definitive answer as for who's the better tactician, because we've not seen them in situations like we've not seen each of them be part of a similar situation. they've all been taking part in different scenarios. There is not a single example that is matched across the board. And that makes it, in my opinion, impossible to determine who's the better tactician because we've all seen them perform differently in different scenarios. And I just don't think that's fair. That would be like saying who's better between, who's the better card player between someone who plays blackjack and poker and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, well, they're all card games, but they're all so radically different. You can't really determine who's the better card player because they're so radically different. And that is the same across the board. All the Snakes are very, very different in their own ways, and they escalate their abilities in different ways. And so it's impossible to really determine who's the best out of all of them. If it was like a battle royale, I really don't know who would win. I really don't. So I can't say who's the better tactician. And that about does it for this episode of the People's Questions. I want to thank the three of you primarily that sent in your questions. There were a few that I was able to answer in the comment section of the last video if you didn't already get your notifications. And remember, if you guys have any more questions you'd like me to answer, make sure to type them in the comments down below. But make sure you get them into reference for next Wednesday before noon when I start filming the next episode. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you all next week.